Okay, so I'm going to be talking about and going through the different time periods of music and the changes and characteristics that follow. So we're gonna go. Just gonna not spend more than 2 minutes for the sake of time. I don't want this video to be too long. So about 2 minutes on each period. So I'm gonna go from music since 1900, the Romantic period, then I'm gonna talk about classical, then the Baroque period, and the medieval and Renaissance period. So, first thing I'm gonna start off is with the music since 1900, and I want to talk about the three main struggles they were facing. They were going through tradition and versus innovation. They were trying to decide if they want to stick with tradition and do the same old, or try something different, you know? Struggle number two would be do an high alert art or make music that's accessible to the audience, which actually goes into how music it was being sold or how music was getting spread throughout. So by like how I said high alert versus making it more audience accessible, by making it more accessible, by making it more generic or something that's popular for the audience, like jazz or rock at the time, that can lead you to make more money. So that goes hand in hand with that second struggle. Anyways, back to struggle. Sorry I jumped the gun. But another struggle, the third one, is about individual expressive goals and making relevance to the community. So, and I already talked about that. And music during the music 1900s was performed mainly in the concert hall, outside, at the church, all of the above. It was, all over the place. Some pieces, two pieces, um, during this period, I thought were, I was about to say cool, but one's cool, one's interesting. So you have Rite of Spring by Igor something Stravinsky, and that's basically a ballet kind of thing, but it's a different type of ballet because it's harsh. People are stomping. It's not your typical graceful, dainty ballet, and that's what made it different. That's where we go back up to that first struggle I was talking about, where they wanted it's tradition and innovation. They're trying innovation is what's happening there. Some people didn't like it because it was not as nice as the regular ballet, but I thought it was interesting, something different than the normal spinning and dainty and moving around. And the other composer and what's it called song piece I'm talking about, it's gonna be by John Cage 433. I think that is a choice. It's literally just a song. It's not even a song, in my opinion, but it's a song where it's just silence. He sits there and he doesn't play anything. The piece is just the noise everyone makes. Like in the audience, someone chewing gum, opening a bag of chips, stuff like that. That's is what is considered music, according to Cage. Moving forward, so moving past 1900, we're going to go into the Romantic period, which is my favorite period. In this period, they're all about being different. These people here live more of a bohemian lifestyle. Um, the three struggles they talked about was struggling against rather than working within society and convection, the need for art to unsettle rather than soothe. Some people didn't like that. Unsettling, like I said, these people wanted to live a bohemian lifestyle and they wanted to try different things and be different and break away from norms, which kind of similar to what was going on in the 1900s, laying the groundwork. And the last struggle being believe that works display the curator's distinctive originality and self expression. Like I said before, being different and actually showing how you feel in freedom wise instead of, I don't know, singing songs in the church and doing it for sacred purposes. Like in, I think, was that medieval? Pretty sure that's medieval Renaissance period. Anyways, um, how is music? Oh, I can actually ignore that. During this was after the French Revolution, also after the Industrial Revolution that just happened. And because of that, a lot of people actually, had moved into the cities for jobs and everything. Millions of people moved. But that allowed a lot more people to be able to spread their music, the preferences about music, and how the music they initially came from, since a lot of people moved into the city. So that just allowed music to be spread. And during the Romantic period, a lot of families were now having like instruments in their home, like a piano, which led to more access to instruments in their home, meaning people are now, everyone's an artist, or everyone can be an artist in their home. But also, they performed at concert halls too. But the important takeaway is they can now perform and make music at home. Um, Two pieces that I got for this one was Elf King by Schubert. I think it's Schubert. Yeah, Schubert. And the Fantastic March to Scaffold. Moving on to the next period, because 6 minutes in. The next period I'm going to talk about is the classical period, and that is relating, or they drew inspiration from the Greeks and the Romans, which I thought was cool. And so instead of how, like in the music since 1900 and Romantic period, they don't have struggles, they have more things like aspects. And the periods following have aspects, really only no really struggles. First aspect is about alignment. They wanted to stress the importance and centrality of reason in the human experience. Another one would be music is very clear, has regularity in their structure. It's not muddy or murky. You can understand. It's clarity. Last one of the aspect would be about society pushing for order and reason, and music being more logical, more logic and reason. So that was very important during that time. And music, actually, how people made money with this one was using the patronage system, which is basically a sponsorship kind of thing, where the aristocrats would pay musicians to come and play their music for them, and at the court. How that works is that can be a little more rigid, because you're not really playing music you really want to play. You have to play what people are paying you for, basically. But that's how you make money. That's just how it goes. So, yeah. So, like I said, you can do it at the court, or during this time period, the palace was the main thing. But in later on in this period, they were playing at the concert hall too. But that's like at the end, late, but mainly in palace. Um, Composers that were doing this one, you have like Beethoven and C.P.E. Bach. But Beethoven, he did The Moonlight, was a sonata, which I think was one of his most well-known pieces and one of his most recognizable one. And the second one, like I said, was by C.P. Bach, and that was Cello Concerto in A minor. It's I don't know if it's I think it's his most famous piece. Anyways, but it's an example of a concerto, and it features the not cello. Anyways, cello. Sorry, soloist. They have their soloist, and at the end, a canza at the end of the three movements. Moving on to the Baroque period, and again, like I said, these have aspects from now on. So your first aspect is music is intensified by emotion. Emotion's kind of pretty big here. Second one is composers and performers are interested in how music could enhance the expression of words. So make words more meaningful, like make lyrics more meaningful. Since like I said, emotion was big in the first aspect. And another aspect, opera was actually really big here also. I think it was the biggest genre, I believe. Yeah, it was the biggest genre in this period, opera music. So a lot of music during this period was made for and spread through for special occasions, but mostly it was the church asking them to do it since the church sponsored them. So the church sponsored them, you're going to performing for the church. That's how they made their money. But middle class actually made music at home sometimes. So it wasn't just the church. But yeah, anything relating to opera, you're either at the church or you're performing at the court. It just depends. And two songs that were really big were like anything related to, or before two songs, let me just start over. Music here was a lot of just like Christian music, like I said, made for the church. So, for example, you have a composer that did Hallelujah Chorus, and that was by Handel, or Messiah Hallelujah Chorus. It was by Handel. So, and then moving on, then you have the other one, Four Seasons, I believe. And I think Four Seasons, winter, spring, summer. But Vivaldi, he wrote like four seasons. And each of them had their own movements in it, like their own three movements, which I thought was really cool. And moving on to the last period, we have medieval, Renaissance, and like I said, have aspects, no struggles really. So music here is seen as like a commodity or something, which it needs to be preserved, taught, or and sold. Another one, music notation became here and started here, was invented, and it just basically was to promote worshiping the Lord, Christian values and worshiping, and shows that this is for a sacred purpose only. And the last one would be music was secular. It was used for attainment and personal expression. Music here was more due to trading, because trading was here, so traveling had to be done. So people would travel, and so people would trade. And while you're trading little stuff like, I don't know, water, food, and stuff, you're also trading music. And by trading music, you're sharing your music preferences, what you like, what you don't like, and basically spreading that out to other people. So you are getting like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to put it in words. You're not just getting your own type of music, but everyone else's music. Music performed. Where was it performed? For medievals, performed like in Gothic cathedrals, and if it's relating to Renaissance, palaces, spacious villas, I think, and like this was also like Christian music. And oh, before I forget, chivalry was big in this period, so that's gonna lead me to talk about this composer, Hilgard, I think, Hildengard or something like that. And she did Alu o Virgo, which is just basically talked about the importance of chivalry and the Virgin Mary relating to God. Then you have John Farmer. He did Fair Phyllis. That was also everything. So that is my whole thing for going through the periods of time: 1900, Romantic, Classical, Baroque, Medieval. So here's a quick rundown for them all. Music, they're trying to struggle against tradition and innovation and being different. Romantic period, similar, but they're really going crazy out here. They're trying to unsettle, leaving a more bohemian, and actually expressing themselves very differently. Classical period, they were inspired by Greeks and Roman, and they're more about logic and enlightenment and reason. The Baroque period is about emotion and expressing that through your words and lyrics. Opera was big here, and medieval and the Renaissance is all about how sacred music is to the Lord for Christianity purposes. So don't use music for anything other than the Lord usually. Anyways, that is my exam.